Hello, my name is Roberto. I'm from Brescia, Italy, and I support Sunderland. FTM!
Hello and welcome to Black Cats Chat, the international fans podcast for Sunderland AFC. My name is Lee Thirkell. I'm from the Bilbao Black Cats, and today I'm joined by Robin Bond from the Czech Republic branch. Robin's in Prague. Good evening, Robin.
Good evening. Welcome.
Happy New Year to you, mate.
Happy New Year to you. Thanks for the invite again.
No problem, mate. What's New Year like in Prague?
Cold and snowing this morning. And getting about with a fractured ankle on crutches is not good, I tell you.
I heard about that. Yeah, what happened?
Long story. It was after the Swansea game, the famous comeback game. Walking home from the pub when I should have got a taxi, and fell over going down a hill and unfortunately fractured my ankle.
Oh Christ! Were you drunk?
I'd had a few, but yeah.
No comment, right? And we've also got Danny Dimitrov from the Bulgarian supporters branch. Danny, good evening. How are you, mate?
Good evening. Well, I'm really well, especially after a win. The mood is good. I enjoyed it, and yeah, ready for the rest of the season.
Yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll build on this. Right then, so we're going to review today's game. It's like 45 minutes after full time. We've just beaten Portsmouth 1-0 at the Stadium of Light in front of 39,000. Horrible weather conditions, which reflected the performance, I think, Robin.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, got off to a good start, and then I think from there on in, it went a little bit downhill. I think again sat back a little bit, I thought, and didn't really go at them. Seemed to prefer to knock the ball about the back. Never looked like we were going to concede, I didn't think, up until the last nervy 5 minutes, as always. But I'd have taken 3 points before we kicked off, but not the best performance.
Yeah, Danny, I think people were expecting like a bit of a goal marathon today, weren't they, from us? Because Portsmouth are struggling. Seemed like an easy game to get boost that goal difference column, didn't it? But it didn't work out that way, did it not?
Well, I wasn't one of them thinking that it's going to be like a goal bonanza, but I mean, particularly playing against Portsmouth, never been an easy one for us historically. And if you look at the results that Portsmouth had recently, they improved quite a lot, significantly, especially after this 4-0 win against Swansea. I was expecting a tough game, which proven to be, but the toughness of this game came from us basically not scoring our opportunities, because this game should have been an easy 3-0. The weather shouldn't be an excuse. It's not the first time it's raining and it's windy, especially in Sunderland. So I think the lads should have been used to this, and also the weather is exactly the same for the Portsmouth players.
Yep.
So, it was just one of them frustrating afternoons where we've missed glorious chances to bury the game nice and early and have a relaxing last 10-15 minutes or so. But, a win is a win. 3 points in the bag. Nobody's going to look at this result apart from having the points taken, and then another clean sheet, which is always nice.
Yep. Robin, we kept with the same formation. Mayendo and Isidore up front. I think people were kind of satisfied with that, but I don't think we kind of utilised or took advantage of those two up front today, did we not? Apart from the goal.
Yeah, I mean, the goal very, very well worked. I mean, a steal from Dan Neil, great ball through to my end, and a fantastic ball through for Isidore, and a great finish. But I think that's about where it ended. I think from what I saw, it's hard to see, when you're not live at the game. But Isidore seemed to be making lots of runs, creating opportunities for the ball to go into him, but we just didn't seem to want to get that ball through to the front two quick enough today. great to see that we're playing with two up front, because I think it gives us a lot more options, and certainly a lot more fluid team. But didn't capitalise on it today, I didn't think.
Yeah, Danny, one of my criticisms of today would be too much like messing around at the back and with the keeper in the midfield rather than get the ball forward to Mayenda and Isidore and like let them do their thing. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I was actually amazed with the amount of mistakes that we've made in the lot in during the whole game, really. Not only Patterson, but like most of the defenders, even some of the midfielders, the mistakes they were making were like way too many for a game like this. And this is very disappointing because if this was a strong opposition, we would have conceded goals, we would have suffered, and that worries me. But what can I say? I mean, it's football, it's championship. These things will happen. We will be frustrated today, but then on another day we'll probably score 3 or 4 goals.
Yeah.
Playing like this, because going forward, we created a lot of good chances. There was some good movements up front, and with a more clinical finish, we would have been cruising. But like, it's as I said, championship game, pretty typical under the rain. There'll be a lot of mistakes, and the only good thing is that we came on top and we won the game.
Yeah. Robin, compared to the Sheffield United game, what do you think was missing today? Because the Sheffield United game, we played the same team, same formation, and we played a much better match than we did today. What do you think was missing today?
I think we've already talked about it. Just a lot of possession at the back, and not getting the ball forward enough, quickly enough. I mean, arguably, the Isidore, the one that was ruled offside, very touch and go. I think he was probably just offside. A debatable penalty shout on Mayenda. I think he had his shirt tugged a little bit, and down he went, but he didn't get it given. But again, I just think we didn't seem to have the urgency that we had against Sheffield United, and maybe we maybe dropping down to the leveling ourselves up against the opposition we're playing. I think the better teams we seem to raise our game, and then you come up against a team today that didn't offer a great deal. And we didn't offer a great deal either.
Mm-hmm. Danny, he mentioned the point there about the Mayenda penalty shout. For me, he went down too easily. And in previous games, he's had possibilities to go down under a challenge, and he didn't. He stayed on his feet. Today, he went down, but I thought he went down very easily.
That's true. He went down easily, but I have seen penalties given against us many times with a shirt pulling.
Yeah.
Including against Sheffield United. Obviously, it was much more brutal against Sheffield United than this one. But as far as I'm concerned, this shirt pulling in the penalty area, for me, clear penalty.
Yeah.
How did they see the offside on the goal? I don't know, because against West Bromwich was the same thing. They're almost on one line, and with no VAR. How the hell did they see it's on offside? I don't know, because it happened so quickly. And I remember we conceded goals like with a meter offside. And now this is in line and they've seen it as an offside. This is very disappointing. I think I'm not saying this is the only reason why we didn't score more goals, but on a different game, on a different day, one of the two should have gone for us.
Yeah. I think the offside was a bit guesswork, wasn't it, really, from the lines? Because it
Yes.
was very, very tight, wasn't it?
It was exactly the same against West Bromwich at home, and we ended up with a 0-0 draw, which was another 2 points dropped, and it could have been the same today.
Yeah,
it's just frustrating that all these decisions are going against us when we create so many chances. And what can I say? I mean, I hope next time it will be working for us.
Yeah, in our favour, hopefully. Robin, Isidore's finish, it was quite good, wasn't it? I thought, like, the way he made the run, and then he just took a touch and then bam, in the bottom corner. Now, people have been saying that we need another striker, a proper striker, but I think he is a proper striker.
Oh, I would agree, and I think he took the goal well. He took his goal well the other night, and Mayenda's getting into some great positions. You know, he had the one-on-one with the keeper today. If he'd probably gone across onto his left foot rather than trying to smack the hell out of his right foot, we could have been sat 2-0. I think he just needs rounding off. But I think, I'm seeing improvement in my end game on game. He just needs to be, we can probably count three golden opportunities in the last 3 games where he probably should have scored with a bit more maturity and a bit more confidence about him. He probably would have had 3 more goals under his belt. So that but if one of the two gets injured, then I think we're struggling up front. That's where we probably do need to strengthen because we haven't got a lot of strength in depth. Should anything happen to the front two that we've got playing at the moment?
Yeah. No, that is true. I mean, we saw Naz Rusin come on again, 92nd minute, second game in a row. But Dan, after the goal, then on 7 minutes, immediately we just seemed to take our foot off the gas, didn't we? And we let Portsmouth come in back into the game.
Yes, indeed. I mean, this is always disappointing to see happening. But I just want to go back to Wilson Isidore. I think we should consider ourselves lucky to have a player of his caliber. This guy is probably too good for the championship. I think it's a pure luck, or maybe not pure luck, because our scouts done a great job to have him. As you said, he's a proper striker. Look at his goals.
Yeah,
8 goals so far. I mean, all of them are top goals. They're like well taken goals. They're like absolutely brilliant. You can see the quality in this player, and playing as a proper striker suits him. He's young, not too young, 24, I think.
yeah.
He's very tall, physically very strong. He's good on the ball. He can run fast as well. He's the kind of player that we've been missing in the last 3 seasons, probably. And I like the idea of playing with Mayenda up front, Mayenda behind him. And I wish Mayenda was more confident and he would have scored more goals. But I think this will come. I know this will come. This guy is getting better and better every game. He just needs more confidence, and the goals will come.
Yeah.
Going back to the disappointment with us stepping back. I mean, I don't know whether this is psychological problem or like they just maybe we scored too early. Shouldn't be doing these things, especially at home. We should use the opportunity to put a second one straight away and kill the game off. I know it's easier to say these things than do it. We sit comfortably in front of our tellies, and these guys are getting wet on the pitch. But, I mean, that's their job. That's why they get paid. And they should know better that when you score, especially at home, you need to go and push forward and get a second one quickly.
Yeah. Robin, I mean, for me, on the telly, I mean, I might get pelters for this on social media, but for me, the atmosphere in the ground seemed a bit flat as well, didn't it? I mean, it kind of, I suppose maybe it's cold, it's windy, less people there. But, I mean, when we scored, we didn't really kind of get behind the team, I don't think.
No, and I think I mentioned this the last time we spoke, that I think the atmosphere at home is particularly flat. I think, backed by a packed end of 2 or 3 or 7,000 down like we were down at Blackburn seems to spur the team on. Just to pick up on Danny's point, about, I think we mentioned this the last time as well. We go a goal ahead, and we seem to be a different team. When we chase in the game, we seem to have a lot more urgency about us. We knock the ball about a lot better. And we're almost better to watch when we're a goal behind or sitting at 0-0. We get that goal, and then I don't know whether it's tactically that's the way to set the team up, not to concede. And, again, like Danny said, I'd have taken the 3 points before we kicked off. I'd have taken a 1-0, but it wasn't a very pretty 1-0.
Yeah.
But here we are. We sat 3 points off the top of the league. If you'd given me that at the start of the season, I'd have snapped your hand off.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So there's more to come, and we've touched on it. I think we're better against better teams. When we've got to raise our game, we seem to raise it.
Yeah. Danny, today we were a bit shaky playing out from the back, and Anthony Patterson had a couple of dodgy moments, didn't he, as well? Especially in the first half. I mean, do we need to take those unnecessary risks?
Well, of course not. I mean, I don't really know why he's doing that, and I'd like to ask him actually. But um, if you look back, you will see that almost not every game, but like quite often he will do things like that. I don't know whether he's overconfident or just a bit naive. I'm not sure, but he should learn from this, and he should have a word with our coaches and try to correct that pretty soon. Because if we don't do that, sooner or later, we will be punished for this. And I'd like to see a huge improvement about this in the next game. Well, next game is actually against Stoke City in the FA Cup, isn't it? So
Yep.
there's a mouth-watering coming after away to Burnley, isn't it? This is gonna be such a huge game for us. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd like to see the boys like up for it and like fighting, like for their lives and get a result there. That's gonna turn over the whole table, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that is that is the big one, isn't it, Robin? On the 17th of
Huge.
January. I mean, I imagine next week we'll probably rest a couple of players. I mean,
Yeah.
I imagine fringe players will probably come in, like Alexic will probably get some game time, Yelder. But Robin, would you kind of be resting a couple of players for that and saving them for the Burnley game?
Yeah, I think I probably would. I think I'd get, some guys in who one of the things I don't think we're doing a lot of is changing the team around much as well. Substitutions, we don't tend to make a lot of substitutions, so the starting 11 invariably seem to get to 80 or 90 minutes before we make changes. So it'd be good to give some of the other lads some game time and get them out on the pitch and see what they can do.
Yeah, Robin, on Anthony Patterson, would you be tempted to just take him out for a game or two and just like give him a little kick
I,
up the arse because he is
the,
getting a bit casual at the back, isn't he?
the cup game, I'd probably take him out and rest him a little bit. And I think Danny's hit the nail on the head. His distribution, something that me and some of my mates have talked about. His distribution. The number of times he bangs the ball straight to touch and gives possession away. He got away with one today, a very very sloppy clearance. Um, he's got away with a few where he's dribbled across the 6 yard box. There was an occasion today where he almost got caught out again. So I think we need to probably bring Jordan Pickford back to give him a few lessons in how to distribute the ball from his penalty area.
Yeah, well, he did that one today, didn't he? Where he picked up the ball and he went on his left foot, but he didn't even look where he was going, and he almost
Yeah,
turned to a blind alley. And well, he was lucky that he just kicked the ball out, didn't he? He kicked it straight
he
out.
did. He did.
See,
Yeah,
that's the thing that he could have given us heart attacks
he
Yeah,
does.
doing that. He has got to think about the fans, you know. It's just every time he does that, my heart stops. It's like, what the hell, man? What are you doing? Why? He's only like a couple of meters away from the goal.
yeah, no,
Very
and
scary, very scary.
it's easier to just kick the ball out, isn't it? Just like kick it upfield, try and win the second ball or the first ball, and then just like take the pressure off. But I mean, we were doing that needlessly today as well. But anyway, it was a scrappy first half. I mean, Patrick Roberts had a chance in the first half. Good play from Aushish on the left. Aushish had a shot. There was Isidore's goal. Mayenda had a chance, but he had like a bit of a snapshot on the right hand side. We did have some good chances in the first half, but we didn't, as you mentioned before, we didn't capitalize, did we not? And it was a bit of a nervy second half, wasn't it, Robin?
Yeah, again that nervy last 5-10 minutes that we've become accustomed to. But I don't think Patterson made a save until probably the last 5 minutes. So I think we always looked comfortable. I didn't think we looked like we were going to concede. I'd just like to see us, be a bit more creative and a bit more positive going forward.
Yeah, I think in the
Um,
first half, Danny, we struggled with the defensive duels, didn't we? Like Mepham and 09 seemed to struggle against their forward. Like, it was like Colby Bishop, like he's a big, strong lad, and he was seemed to be winning all of the balls, and we seemed to be struggling to win the first contact. Is that possibly a thing to worry about in the future? That if like opposition players a big forward against our two lads, we might struggle.
I don't think so. I'd say that when Danny Ballard is back, that problem will go away. It's only because Luke O'Nien is there at the moment as a central defender. These things are happening. But to me, I was more frustrated about the misses that we've had. Particularly Patrick Roberts I think his shot was cleared off the line just before the line.
Yeah.
And that was very, very frustrating because Patrick Roberts is a capable player. He should have done better with this one. Mayenda should have done better as well. And we can talk all night long, but that's football. You'll be missing chances, and then on another day you'll be scoring all these, and you'll be comfortable winner. 3 points are in the bag. We'll have to move on.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Robin, the stats for the match were we had 59% of the possession, 24 shots and 8 on target, and a 1-0 win. So, like, we are creating chances, which is a good thing. But again, we come back to that kind of like clinical finishing, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, clear-cut chances, probably only 3 or 4. I think, Mienda was unlucky in the second half. I think it was Roberts or Hume cut the ball back to him and he got a shot away. Defender, I think the keeper was beaten. Defender got a clearance in. Yeah, just not clinical enough. But take the 3 points.
Yeah. Right, and then second half, Dennis Serkin came on for Elise. Looks like he took a knock to his calf, and I thought like Dennis Serkin needed a spell out of the team after his return from injury. He hadn't been great, had he not? But I thought today it was a bit like the Dennis Serkin of old. He was like getting down the line. He was going on the overlap. He was getting in good positions. So it was good to see for that from Dennis, wasn't it?
Yes, he had a good second half. I'm very pleased for him because I've always admired him. He's a talented lad. I always give him 100%, and I think I'm pretty pleased with his performance. What I would like to say about the second half is that I am a bit, it's not a criticism, but I'm a bit disappointed with Regis Lebris, with the way he handled the team substitutions after the red card. It looks like their manager acted more promptly and reacted, replacing a couple of players, then another 2, where we should have put fresh leg and like push them and kill the game off.
Yeah.
Because, getting Rusin right at the end, I mean, give him 10, 15 minutes. I mean, Alexic had a good 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And I thought a couple of more fresh legs would have made the difference. I thought that he should have substituted a few players beforehand, not to wait right at the end of the game. And then we became nervy at the end. And I knew what Portsmouth are going to be doing. They're going to shut down, and they're going to be trying not to concede. So you can see that they stayed back until 88 minutes or something. And then they decided to risk it right at the end, because at the end, you've got a chance. If you pile the ball up front and then you push forward, even with 10 men, you've got a chance. And, they had a couple of like half chances. And then that's why I was frustrated. That should have been seen by Regis Lebris and doing something about it.
Yeah. Well, Robin, you mentioned before that one of your frustrations is the subs. And it was a bit bizarre, wasn't it, to see Alexic come on the left wing for Aushish, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure what he played him kind of down the middle, more to the right when he started the other night. I thought, a bit of a strange one, but I thought Aushish had a reasonable game today. He looked very, very busy. He's still got that tendency to cut inside and give a 3-yard pass away.
Yeah.
But I like how busy he was today. He never stopped running. He got a couple of good crosses in. I think there was a ball he put in the first half, a very good ball into the box. Nobody kind of gambled on it. Went out for a corner. So I think he's getting probably better game by game.
Yeah, I think people might get a bit frustrated with Aushish because of those like passes he gives away, but it's not for a lack of trying, because he is trying to do something with it, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
It's the same with Roberts, I think, as well. Like Roberts gets the ball and he'll always try and do something with it. But if he gives the ball away, like fans might go, "Oh, he's giving the ball away," but he's trying to create something. Right then. So there was also a bizarre corner, Danny, in the second half, wasn't it? I don't know if you saw
Yes.
the from Aushish, where their defender just seemed to leave it, didn't he? Just put his hands up like that, and he just left it, and it just went straight through, didn't it? And it's like, oh, you just want someone to gamble at the front post, don't you?
Yeah.
Mm. Well, I mean, talking about Oshish, a very talented player. I like him, but I thought that he was a bit desperate to score, and he was a bit selfish today, I must say. Again, this is not a criticism. He should have looked at the whole picture. Like, we're leading 1-0. It's a nervy 1-0. You know, you need to sometimes, instead of you scoring, you need to pass it and make sure that someone scores in a better position. He tried a few times to score himself. That it didn't work. And I'm not saying that he mustn't try, but there was other people in a better position to score, and he still tried to score himself. I think this is more to do with the fact that he only started 3 times so far. He wanted to get a goal, to get himself confident, to get rewarded. I understand that, but I think the team comes first, and he should have been more clinical with the passing. And as you said, I think he's getting better and better every game.
Yeah, I think there were times today that he could have played a better pass than previous games. That he got most of the decisions right, didn't he? But today he did have a couple of those where a pass was the better option, or he shouldn't have shot, etc.
Exactly.
Robin, then, has he played himself back into contention for the rest of the season, or do you think there's still a chance that Lebris might say thanks, but no thanks, off you pop?
It depends who becomes available again. I think if young Tommy becomes available again, I think he's a completely different player. I think he's got a lot more about him. So I think if he becomes available again, I think O'Sheash would be back on the bench. But until such time, then I think he's fought for his place, and I think he's deserving of keeping it at the moment.
Yeah. And then, Robin, sticking with you then, the red card for Pompey on 66 minutes. Was it a red card, do you think?
Well, as soon as it happened, I said to my wife, he's got to go. He was away. He was clear. He was going to be one-on-one with a keeper, and we know what Isidore can do from there. So I think he had to go.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the replay, Danny, and it looked like Isidore took a heavy touch, and the goalkeeper might have got there before. So I don't know if it was actually a goal-scoring opportunity. I was a bit 50-50.
Well, I mean, their player was last in defence, and
Yeah.
in those kind of situations, it's a straight red card. I mean, I don't think anybody would argue with the red card. To be honest, I would have preferred Isidore to score and not to have the Portsmouth player sent off. But it's a professional foul, and he knew what's happening. There was no. I mean, Portsmouth players never actually reacted to the red card.
Yeah.
And, it was pretty obvious.
Yeah, no, just going by the rules these days, aren't they? Saying like denying a goal scoring opportunity, but I just thought like the time that Wilson took his touch, and then the time that the keeper got to the ball. For me, it was.
Lee, I think you're too detailed.
Yeah,
well,
I think
the guy knew exactly what he was doing.
I think too much.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
I'm just thinking on the other foot, on the other shoe, Danny. I'm thinking like if that was against us, we'd probably be saying the same thing that it wasn't a red card.
Yeah, we're not biased at all.
Anyway, never mind.
It's never a red card when it's against us.
No, never. Robin, Danny made a good. Danny Collins actually made a good point during commentary, saying that Wilson Isidore in the second half shouted for the ball about 6 times to play him through down the channels, but we ignored him every time. Yeah, and for me, that's what's missing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the point I was making earlier. That the forwards, I think, were making great runs, and it's difficult to see when you're watching on a screen. But you can see them at the top of the screen. making runs kind of along the front line, pointing where he wanted the ball. There was a couple of times, I think, even in the first half, where he was wanting the ball knocked over the top and they tried to play it into feet. But I don't think he ever gives up. He seems to run to the end. I think Danny made the point that he might give up and stop running, but I don't think you ever get that from Isidore. I think he just wants to keep running till the end.
Yeah.
But it must be frustrating, when you're making them runs and you make a 10, 15-yard sprint and then you see one of the forwards pass it along the back line or it goes into a midfield, you're expecting the ball to come forward and it goes backwards again.
Yeah. And well, Danny, I mean, that's like part of the new formation to get Isidore and Mayenda involved more is to play these balls to the channels or over the top for them to get the ball run onto. But I mean, that means that Job and Dan Neil, they have a slightly different role now, don't they, in the middle of midfield? Because in the past, when we had three midfielders, we were getting more possession. But now, their kind of role for Dan Neil and Job is basically they're tidying up and then they're distributing the ball. But they should be distributing it a bit faster to those two forwards, shouldn't they?
Indeed. I mean, this is the time to praise Dan Neil particularly. I like the way he progressed this season. He seems to be more calm, and he's doing a good job in the middle of the park. But to be honest, he's covering everywhere, and I think we've got a really young talent here coming through the academy, and I was actually talking about Job. I was expecting a bit more from him today. He sort of tried to guard the ball quite a few times, like back against the opposition's goal, and sort of he was a bit slow, a bit like nervy. I was expecting more from him. Daniel done a better job overall, but still very young players giving 100%. Fighting every ball, so we've got to be happy with them.
Yeah, no. For me, Robin, Dan Neil was probably the best player on the pitch again today, wasn't he?
Yeah, man the match for me again today. I think probably out the last 6 games, I think he's probably been man the match at least 4 of them. And I'm really pleased for him. He took a lot of stick the beginning of the season. I don't know whether it was the weight of the captaincy hanging on his head or what, but fair play to him. He's come through that, and nobody wants him to improve. Now, I was critical of him earlier in the season. I thought some of his distribution was lacking. His confidence seemed to be lacking, but he's certainly stepped up in the last 6 or 7 games and looks a different player to what he was in the early part of the season.
Yeah.
So hats off to him for turning it around.
Yeah, well, turn our attention then to the next few games then. We've got Stoke on next Saturday in the FA Cup. Probably expecting changes, but we're going to move on to the Burnley game on the 17th of January, Danny, which is a big one. I imagine, well, according to LeBreeze, like Chris Rigg will be fit for that. So what do we do in terms of lineup? Does Rigg come back in and we go back to a 3 in midfield, or does he stick with a 2 up front?
I got the feeling that he will stick with the 2 up front. That obviously depends on how well Rigg recovered from his injury. I'm sure they'll know better than me what to do with him. But if he's not 100% sure, he will not feature. I actually can't wait to see Mundell back, because this guy was like doing so well until he was taken off injured, and that's going to give us more headaches on the left with Tommy Watson and Mundell and Oshish challenging for it. Riggy, I hope he's fine and he's recovered fully, and I hope we rest a few players for the Stoke game, and then if that's the case, we're going to have plenty of time to recover and to shape up for the Burnley game. And I think we need to go full steam there.
Yeah, Robin?
I would stick with the 2 up front.
Stick with the 2 up front. Robin, would you agree with that for the Burnley game, or is it a bit risky, maybe?
Personally, that's what I'd like to see, but I don't think he will. I think he'll revert to 1 up front, away from home, and try and catch them on the break. Personally, it's not what I want to see because I think we're a better team with two through the middle. But I just think Lebris is a bit more cautious in terms of his setup, and I think he'll go try and soak up the pressure and hit them on the break. I think that's what he'll do.
Yeah. Danny, would you be bothered if we went out the FA Cup next week and we rested players?
Well, I hate to lose any game. I mean, even friendlies. I hate it when we lose. That's for sure. But of course, cup games don't matter that much to me, where we want to go back to the Premier League. I mean, nothing can compare with return to a Premier League. For me, I mean, I always want the maximum. I want to get through to the fourth round. And I want to go up to Burnley and give them a good game and show them that we are fought for a reason. And don't forget that at home, in the beginning of the season, we absolutely battered them in the first half, especially in the first half. And they were lucky to lose 1-0 only. If you remember, guys, this game, we played so well. The first half, they just never crossed the halfway line. And then I'm not saying we're going to do the same at their ground, but I hope we give them a good game and then I'll play them.
Well, I think, Robin, against every big team, we've been capable of putting in a good performance, haven't we?
No, definitely. I think we've. No, I don't think anybody's really tortured us this year. No, I think we've stepped up when we've needed to step up. We've been unlucky in some of the games. We've shot ourselves in the foot with some of the defending, some of the points that we've given away. You know, if you add up the points that we have thrown away in the last 5 minutes of games and some of the at times comical defending, you know, where would we be sitting? The FA Cup, going back to that, I always used to say, you know, winning breeds confidence. Go out and put your strongest team out and win. But the game's changed a lot. There's a lot more at stake nowadays. And the lure of the Premier League, I think, will outweigh, and he will change it around, I think, and give some of the fringe players a run out.
Right. Well, we'll certainly see. Danny, Robin, thanks for your time this evening. That's all we've got time for. I'll see you again soon. How are the lads?
Well, the lads, brilliant. Thanks for the invite again. Nice to meet you, Danny.
Thank you, Lee.
Hello. My name is Gian Pietro. I am from Bergamo and I support Sunderland forever.